We are prone to it, and yet, as I mentioned, there's always hope for it. We hear people saying they died of loneliness, sadness, but the thing is, there's no specific word at that time for depression. But right now, we have a specific term for it, we have a treatment for it, we come up and discuss about it. But I do not think that because of the heightened awareness that people during olden times do not talk about it. I think meron. I know nandyan siya. It's just that ngayon, napag-uusapan, ngayon may muka ang depression. Ngayon, meron silang sinasabi at tinatawag na mga treatment for depression. Kaya mas klaro si depression ngayon. Hindi kagaya noong unang panahon, blurred lang ang mukha ni depression. Ngayon, klaro na siya. People would tend to think that it's because of chemical imbalance. Let's go back. People inherit some anomalies from their parents, right? From one parent and from both parents. So people who have them from their parents naturally are more prone and more susceptible to depression and to suicide. But that does not mean that, they were born with chemical imbalance defect. It just simply means they inherited it from their parents and they are prone to it, and it all depends again on how, when the situation arises, when the stressors come up, how they will deal with it. But again, I do not think it's all because of chemical imbalance, that people nowadays have a lot of chemical imbalance. No, it's just that chemical imbalance, we do have it. We inherited it from our parents, from our ancestors. We are prone to it, and yet, as I mentioned, there's always hope for it. Yes, stressors is the number one cause of depression. Relationships is another factor. When a child tells you, "Mom, I feel sad," that's okay. Sadness is okay. But when the child says, "Mom, I feel hopeless," be watchful. When the child is always tired, be watchful. Because when the child is not motivated, that's one sign. When the child will have sudden change of mood swings frequently, that's another thing that parents should watch for. When the child suddenly gives out his or her favorite things to other people, that's another thing that parents should be watchful. When the child always sleeps or does not sleep, that's also one of the things that parents should be watchful. When the child will have a sudden influx of ideas about death and talk about death and romanticizing death. For example, like saying, if I die, this world will be a better place to live in. If I die, a lot of people will understand the beautiful meaning of death. These are things that parents should watch for. That's why it's very important for us parents to listen. Listen not only with our ears, listen with our heart, so we will understand what our child is really telling us. Of course, as a practicing therapist, I believe, number one, that the family is the essential key for me to really partner with when I do psychotherapy with a client. Parents can always, as mentioned, listen and not lecture. Parents, most of the time we always say, "Oh, I know this, I know that, I have read about this, I know about..." Parents, our children nowadays do not need that. They know all the informations online. They're doing Google online. No need to lecture them. But let them understand that you listen to them with your heart. It's very important that you listen to them with your heart, not to lecture. And of course, be patient but be persistent. When your child says, I don't want to talk about it, be respectful. Don't keep on pushing and pushing your child to discuss about things that they are not comfortable with. But be persistent enough to let your child know that when they are ready to discuss about it, you are there. And of course, with all the things happening nowadays, we should pray for our children, our family, and ourselves as parents. There's no such a thing as that. But by learning about depression, by being aware about depression, by trusting that we love our family enough to want to depression-proof it, parents can learn about depression, know about depression, discuss openly about depression without being afraid, and most of all, involve the children when you discuss about death, about depression, and about suicide. It's painful when we have to talk about our loved ones being depressed. More so if we lose or lost a loved one due to suicide. As a parent, I would not want any parent to feel that. But there's always hope. We live in a world full of challenges, but that does not mean we do not live in a world full of hope. We just have to want to find where hope is. We can find it. It is just here. Do not be afraid, because hope is readily available to us anytime.